Hey Jess, so I just wanted to take a second and kind of wrap up the day in the training room. I want to go ahead and say that I'm really proud of how much you've been improving in your ability to communicate with the patient. Today when you were working with Beth, you did a great job of kind of walking her through, um, uh, what you were going to do for the day, why you were making some changes to her rehab, and you checked with, her perception on how she's doing, and that's awesome. That's good that you get her opinion on how her rehab is going as well. So one thing to kind of look into is let's make sure that whenever we're looking for a scale type grade or something like that, you ask Beth on a scale of 1 to 50 how she thought she was, in 50 being her returning to sport tomorrow. Let's kind of keep that consistent with the scale of 1 to 10 whenever we ask that kind of question. That way, the patient doesn't have to kind of rethink how they want to grade themselves on a scale. Like the last time you did it, you graded her on a 1 to 10, so let's keep that consistent so that she can just say, well, I'm a little bit better. I wouldn't say that I'm like super close to returning, so I would give myself, a 3 instead of a 2, or a 4 instead of a 3, or something along those lines. I just think that that'll help be a little more clear with our athletes. So another thing, when you are going in between exercises and you want to give your patient that little bit of break instead of just moving through everything, I think it's important to kind of keep our patients and athletes from getting distracted. One thing that I saw Beth do was that she was talking with Zach when Zach was finished with his exercises, and they were looking on their phone and such, and you did the same thing. You're looking on your phone, and it's not a bad thing. I understand that you're in between exercises, nobody's really doing anything. I think it's important to keep our athletes busy before we create distracting habits, such as being able to use their phones in the training room. That's why we have that rule. So some ways that we can improve on that is, if Zach is totally finished with his exercises, go ahead and just ask him, hey, is there anything else that that you were supposed to do for the day? If he says no, I'm pretty much finished, then just say, okay, well, if you'll just go ahead and head out, and we'll see you tomorrow, and these are the things we're going to do tomorrow. Just kind of give him, address him, and let him know that that he's done and it's good. But we want to keep the athletic training facility clear of people that aren't doing anything, to keep distractions at a minimum. Another thing, if Zach were still doing his exercises and he was in between the two, taking kind of a rest break, kind of like Beth was, then you could have Beth kind of do something on her own that helps her, that keeps her from getting distracted. So maybe a simple stretch that she's going to do for 20 or 30 seconds in between sets. I just think that these are a couple ways to reduce the amount of bad habits that our athletes and that we make as athletic trainers in the facility. But otherwise, I think you're doing a great job. Like I said, communication, awesome. But now let's try and start working on reducing distractions and things that could potentially limit the effectiveness of our athletes' time with us in the athletic training facility. Thank you.